We've got something on this chart that is potentially very, very important. It could turn into something big. It might not, but honestly, this is a really good starting sign because it's a Monday today and the S&P 500 has opened much higher. Take a look at this. Well, it didn't actually open much higher, but it has been trading much higher since it opened. We've finally managed to get right back up to this resistance level. And you know what? Depending on how you draw this, the picture actually gets a little bit better because if we zoom out a little bit and just redraw this trend line to connect to this hit right here, it actually kind of looks like we've broken out already. Look, we already had one fake out right here. It looks like we've seen a second breakout right now. This is a really big deal, ladies and gents, because one of the key things that I was talking to you about on this YouTube channel over these last basically days and even weeks really is that if the S&P 500 is able to start showing some more strength now, given that Bitcoin has already been showing a lot of its strength on its own. This is the key thing, is it's happening on its own. Bitcoin is producing this strength while the dollar is closed, while the S&P 500 isn't trading, while the S&P 500 is dropping. Bitcoin has been showing us a lot of strength. We already know from basically like the last 2 years of, you know, if you haven't been sleeping under a rock or just living under a rock this last 2 years, you're going to know that when the S&P 500 and other indices like it are rallying up, Bitcoin generally tends to perform quite well. Bitcoin is already performing well before that happened though, over these last couple of weeks, and now the S&P 500 is back as well, which is really, really exciting news, guys, because if the S&P 500 is able to keep this breakout, really what that would signify is that people are more willing to put their market into somewhat riskier places, right? And with that is going to come a little bit more speculation. With a bit more speculation, you're generally going to expect money to flow into very risky asset classes like crypto. So that's what I'm really liking here. Let's break down exactly where this could go. If the S&P 500 is able to get up to this kind of resistance area right here around 4,100, that would potentially indicate some really, really fun stuff happening for Bitcoin. I actually want to show you, with this overlay right here, I actually want to show you what's happened when the S&P 500 has broken out above some key levels and what happened to Bitcoin at the very same time. So let's take a look at, see over here, we started to lose that correlation because, you know, the S&P 500 is topping out. Bitcoin is in a really weird position. But when we look at the market in a more kind of normal trending situation, take a look at what happens right here. S&P 500 sets this high at 35.70. We get rejected once, get rejected twice. Third time we managed to get a breakout. And look, just look at the right hand side of my screen. Look at what happens to Bitcoin at the very same point. SPX gets that breakout, starts trading higher. Bitcoin manages to push from right here. I know you can't read the price level, but right here, this is roughly $16,000. Bitcoin manages to push right up to about 19K, consolidates for a little bit, and just starts to blast off while the S&P 500 is trending up slowly. Bitcoin just absolutely rockets off to the moon, setting new all-time highs practically every day. Lots and lots and lots of examples of this. If we take a look at when, we're going to have to switch this to the log chart. If we take a look at when the S&P 500 recovered from the COVID crash and really started to rally up very, very nicely, Bitcoin wasn't in a particularly strong position at that current moment. But after a little bit of consolidation, that's when the big rally started to kick off, right? So it's showing us that generally, sometimes what we get is like at the same time, Bitcoin starts pumping up really nicely. If not, after a little bit of consolidation, right? Take a look at the consolidation that happened over here and what happened with the S&P 500. After a little bit of consolidation, after the S&P 500 manages to, you know, get some pullbacks and so on, this is where we start to see things really shine. Take a look at this. SPX wakes up, Bitcoin starts rallying up right here. You know, we have to zoom in. It's a little bit hard to see. And the thing we have to keep in mind is there's only 5 days of candles every week for the SPX compared to 7 for Bitcoin, because Bitcoin's a 24/7 market right here. But, you know, very, very clear setup right here. SPX starts mooning, Bitcoin starts mooning at the very same time, right? Even at points when the SPX starts to stall, Bitcoin starts stalling. But generally, the trend is very, very clear indeed, very promising, I would say, and that is something that I'm definitely looking forward to, because the fact that this has happened on a Monday, ladies and gents, is actually what I think makes this a little bit more significant, right? If we get this kind of price action happening on a Monday where we start to see indices rocket up, that could be an indication of what would happen for the, you know, for this coming trading week. And also, just bringing it back to the SPX real quick, it also now means that we've had a couple of retracements, which I think really paves the way for the SPX to continue to rise up. Now, if you take a look at how it got this move, I mean, first of all, it topped out at this resistance level, fell all the way down to our support level. No surprises. We were calling for this on the YouTube channel quite a bit. We managed to get our resistance right here, and we got a nice, healthy pullback, right? I mean, it's nothing crazy. It wasn't particularly deep. Let's actually throw a fib on here and take a look if there's anything significant here. Yeah, we fall down to the 0.5 level. Nothing crazy, like I said, but still definitely a nice level to retrace by, right? I mean, this basically means that of the whole move, we fell down by 50% of its height. So that's okay. That's definitely good. And now we're mounting countering another attack. We actually hit this resistance level again. We pulled back again. Again, nothing particularly huge. Let's throw another fib on here and just see if it fell down to any particularly crazy levels. Again, 0.5 level. Looks like the S&P 500 loves to retrace by 50% of its rallies, and then bam, rocketing up. Really getting quite a strong breakout here, ladies and gents, in my opinion, which could potentially really set the tone for what could be coming next. Now, we couple this with a potentially, bullish Fed announcement with the interest rates, which are going to be coming in about a week from now. That could really help the market as well. I'm not saying that we're going to get something like that. I'm not a macroeconomist, so I have absolutely no clue what's going to happen. But if we do get something good, that could really put these markets in a really nice position, because right now what it looks like is that the S&P 500 at least is really primed for a big move to the upside. The other good sign that I want to show you guys, which usually ends up working against Bitcoin, but right now it's fine, is that since my last video, the dollar has managed to pull a little bit of a recovery, but Bitcoin remains unaffected, which again is just showing me that in the face of things that previously, when the market was much more bearish, would have become actually quite big, serious problems for Bitcoin, now it doesn't seem to matter too much, which is a really bullish sign for me, because even if Bitcoin manages to pull back now with its own doing, or in correlation with the SPX, or inverse correlation to the dollar, whatever, it doesn't really matter. It's showing me that Bitcoin at this present moment, within this kind of short to, dare I say, midterm kind of trend area, is showing good signs of strength. And that is something that's really exciting for me. At the same time that all of this is going on, our support continues to build. Our 4-hour EMA ribbon is only catching up tighter and tighter with the price action. If the price does nothing and just kind of trades sideways, the EMA ribbon is still going to continue to rise up a little bit, which is going to make this really interesting to see how Bitcoin is able to interact with the support area, if at all, because of course, nothing is guaranteed. The thing to keep in mind here is that we do have this area as resistance, which we are still brushing up against. The good thing is that we're just consolidating here, right? We're not really even pulling back. We're just kind of trading sideways a little bit. This is obviously quite an important level, because previously when we were in this trading range in the second half of 2022, we were finding a lot of interactions with this price level. You already know the deal if you've been subscribed to this YouTube channel, so I'm not going to go over it again. But again, taking a look at resistance rejections like this as well, clearly very significant, but we're not getting the same treatment this time, right? Previously, Bitcoin managed to rally up from only 18.5 up to this price level, and then got a very harsh rejection. On this occasion, we've been rallying since $16,500, and we're not even getting a rejection at the moment, right? Previously, that rejection came in pretty much the next day. We've been here for like 3-4 days now, and we're still doing fine. And to me, that is a really promising sign of where this thing could be going. So I'm going to keep watching this. I'm going to be looking for where our support and resistance could be on this chart, and updating you with all of that stuff as time goes on. There are some really cool setups opening up in this market, and you guys know the deal. Bybit is offering you guys a huge cash bonus that you can trade with if you follow my link in the description down below, where you're getting up to $30,000 of tradable cash that you can use depending on the size of your deposit and trading volume, which is really cool, because you can just throw that in the market. It's basically like demo money. If you make money with it, the catch is that you get to take it home, you get to withdraw it, and if you don't make money with it, it's like demo money. It's free money. You didn't have to do anything for it. You didn't have to deposit your own 30K other than what you initially deposit, and they're just giving you that cash to trade with. So super aggressive model there. Well worth checking out, because to be able to throw any amount of cash, even if it's not 30K, even if it's something a little bit more reasonable, dare I say, like 5K down here, you can still pull some really nice gains with that kind of money, right? I am looking at the possibility for a short, because ultimately this is a resistance level, but I don't like the idea of going short at a time like this purely because we are in an uptrend. The trend is your friend, right? So I'm a little bit more keen on seeing retracements down to key levels, and then potentially watching how the market interacts with them. So that's something that I'm going to be looking out for. But as always, I will be keeping you guys updated. So very quick one from me here today. I don't want to cover too much more in this video, but I've got a huge one coming out for you tomorrow. So definitely make sure that you are subscribed, stay in tune for all this content, hitting up that bell icon, hitting up the likes as well, to make sure that YouTube shows you this content right when it's published. If you did enjoy this one, you know exactly what to do. Links on screen to join VIP and my 𝗙𝗢𝗡𝗧 Academy courses. Really hope you've enjoyed this one. For a final time, hit up like, subscribe, click the bell, and all that good stuff, and I'm out. Cheers.